All right, he's one of the top fundraisers on the GOP side. Dr. Ben Carson bringing in more money than any other Republican candidate.
In the third quarter, Carson raised nearly $21 million, and he's expected to break that record when fourth quarter numbers are released later this week. So why aren't his poll numbers doing the same?
Joining us now, retired pediatric neurosurgeon and 2016 presidential candidate, Dr. Ben Carson. Dr. Carson, thanks a lot for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
What's the secret to your money success, Dr. Carson?
We the people, the people themselves. You know, I don't accept money from billionaires who want to influence things or for special interest groups, and I wouldn't do that as president either. I think that's a large part of the problem that we have. But the people themselves, who are the ones who are responsible for me running, because I wouldn't have done it without all of the clamoring and the draft movement. But they are standing behind, you know, what they said.
Dr. Carson, your numbers in November were at 24.8% nationally, down now to 9.3%. After the terrorist attacks in Paris and San Bernardino, the conversation shifted even more toward terrorism and national security, something that many see you as weak on. But you say you're stronger than people give you credit for. What do you mean?
I mean, you know, people need to listen to what I'm saying and not what other people are saying about me. You know, in terms of protecting our homeland, you know, I put out a 7-point program to get rid of it. We need to declare war on ISIS. You know, we need to form a real coalition with the states down there that have an interest in getting rid of ISIS because they're next on the list. We need to get the Syrian men who are in Saudi Arabia and other states down there, as well as in Jordan refugee camps, and form them into a fighting force and a protective force. We need to reform the visa program. We need to get our border under control.
Right.
We need to, Muslim Brotherhood here, they are a terrorist organization. They ought to be declared as such. And CARE needs to be investigated also. I mean, there are things that we can do ourselves quite effectively right now. And also look at the northeast section of Syria. There are Kurds there, there are Christians there, there are moderate Sunnis there who can protect that area. The refugees should be sent there, and there should be an international force to protect them. They don't even have to go anywhere else. That's a free area up there with landing strips and hospitals.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Carson, you mentioned 7 steps for a safer America. It could be 700 at this point with the threats we're facing in this world. The American people, though, probably won't look at 7. They'll probably want to look at 1 or 2 points. And a lot of it will be, does it require American boots on the ground? How much American involvement does it require? Would President Carson send troops to the ground in Iraq and Syria, specifically Syria?
If we needed boots on the ground, again, it really depends on our military experts. I think the job of the commander-in-chief and his people are to define the mission. And then we have to ask the military experts, what do you need in order to accomplish this mission? And whatever that is, that's what we should give them.
Exactly. That was the way, it was used to be the calculus. Finally, I don't know if you have a monitor there, but we noticed something. This was sent in from us in Miami at a Barnes & Noble. We love Barnes & Noble, but somebody there at that store, or whether it was a rambunctious customer, put your book and Donald Trump's book on the shelf, best-selling books, under the humor section. Do you think this is just a joke to you?
I suspect that it is. But, you know, there are a lot of people, particularly on the other side, who really have a very different philosophy of America. And people like me are a real threat to them, and people like Donald Trump are a real threat to them. But, you know, the American people are a lot smarter than these people think. They're not going to be manipulated as easily as they think they are.
All right, Dr. Ben Carson, thank you so much for your time today.